first of all, before I start anything, welcome finally to my channel. It's been a long time coming for this video, for me to put out a video, period. I just been like procrastinating for some reason, and I don't know, I've been waiting for too long. Like, I was planning to do this like long time ago, but I just never did it. And I don't know why, but I just feel like I need to get it out there. I need to put stuff out there. I need to start what I want to do. Okay, so excuse me for looking crazy. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like up, can't sleep. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be useful, and I'm going to do something productive. I'm going to make this video, and I'm here. So I'm here. So if you haven't already read by the title, today I'm going to be talking about me becoming a mom at the age of 17 and my experience and how everything went, the best like story rundown of like beginning to like now type deal. So before I start anything, I need y'all to like, I need y'all to comment, I need y'all to subscribe, I need y'all to share my page. Like, we need to go viral, okay? Excuse if the lighting keep changing. I'm like using my phone, and you know, like sometimes if you move, the lighting moves with you, okay? So yeah, so if the lighting keep changing and out, excuse me, but I'm on my phone, so bear with me. But yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share my channel. Like, get everybody on here, okay? Because we're about to be lit. This channel's finna be like everything. It's gonna have everything. We're gonna be doing vlogs, get ready with me, pranks, all that. It's about to be lit, I promise. Hair tutorials, honey. Oh, girl. Anyways, so I'm about to get into the video now. Disclaimer, me talking about this, I'm not encouraging anybody to get pregnant at a young age, or I'm not discouraging anybody who has, because, you know, I myself did it. And, you know, of course, it wasn't planned. It wasn't anything that, like, I wanted. Of course, I'm happy now with the outcome and everything. But, again, I'm not discouraging anybody. Like, it is what it is. Life happens, you know. And do you, as long as, you know, you got that mentality that you can be that strong mother or parent type, then kudos to you, okay? So, all right. So, in the beginning, I was 16 at the time. I'm currently 17. Gonna be 18 in July. I can't wink for nothing. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, I was 16 at the time, and you know, me and my boyfriend Jared, you know, we had kind of like been together for a little bit, like really a little bit, and you know, just kind of doing us. And you know, the day that we kind of like, we know the day that like our son got conceived, because like it was a mess. But yeah, so the day that all that happened, like, okay, yeah, we had sex and whatever, and then we realized that the happened. We're gonna call it the okay? But I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what I'm talking about. We realized that the happened, and like right after, both of us was like, oh, okay? Was like, oh my gosh. So immediately after, like not even like an hour after, like we really ran out of the house that we was in, and we went to the pharmacy to get a Plan B pill or whatever. And you know, them things ain't cheap for nothing, like, you know. And at the time, I don't know why, but me and him, like, neither of us, like, we didn't have like just the $50 sitting around. Like, the Plan B was like 50 some dollars. Like, we didn't have that sitting around for some reason. We just didn't, like, so we had to like gather up money, like both of us, to be able to like actually afford the Plan B pill. Like, we wasn't broke, but we just didn't have that at the time type deal. So we just had to scrounge that up, and then we literally drove so fast to the pharmacy. I took the Plan B pill, and then that was kind of that night. Like, we talked, you know, when I got home, excuse me. When I got home, you know, we talked and was like, okay, like, oh my gosh, like, let's pray that I'm not pregnant, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. and all this. So then me being paranoid and me just being like, oh my gosh, like that really happened type deal. Like I think like 2 days later, I ended up taking a pregnancy test. Like 2 days after I took the Plan B, like I took a pregnancy test, and of course, me not knowing, but me knowing, if that makes any sense, like I knew that it was gonna come back negative because it only had been like 2 days after that I had just had sex and that had happened, and I took the Plan B. So you have to wait like at least I say like I'm gonna say like 2 to 8 weeks to really get some like an actual result. So like I took it 2 days after, and of course it came back negative. So me, I'm like, okay, I might be okay type deal, but no. So during that whole time, like me waiting like to take another pregnancy test or whatever, you know, my mind's kind of like, what am I gonna do if I am pregnant? Am I gonna keep the baby? Am I not? Am I this? Am I that? It was just like a whole thought process within myself. And then I know my boyfriend at the time, he was like thinking like, damn, like what, you know, we so young type deal. Like, you know, you gotta think like that going through somebody's head like so young as we are and we were, like, yeah, it was just like a lot to like process and hold on your shoulders. So yeah, so then like 2 weeks had passed finally, and my boyfriend was like, I really think you should take another pregnancy test right now. I think it's a good time. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. So I ended up getting another pregnancy test, and we had hung out for that day, and I ended up getting a pregnancy test before I went home, I guess. And then I went home, you know, I didn't want anybody to know what I was doing, like my mom or anybody or my sisters when they was living in the house at the time. I didn't want nobody to know what I was doing or nothing. So I went to this downstairs bathroom that we have, and I took my pregnancy test. And, you know, I was texting my boyfriend the whole time, like kind of just waiting and stuff. And I was just waiting. And I think I waited like 5 to 10 minutes just because, like, it was probably ready at 5 minutes, but I probably waited like 5 to 10 just because I was like scared, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not trying to be pregnant. Like, it's not supposed to happen type deal. So yeah, so I was just waiting, and I finally had, like, you know, I was sitting on the toilet, like I didn't move, like I just kind of sat in the toilet and waited, didn't put my pants on or nothing. I just sat there. So then finally I had like got off the toilet, washed my hands and stuff. And I think I even like walked upstairs just because like I really wasn't trying to look at it and it be positive. I just had a feeling that it was gonna be positive just because of I know how the happened. Okay, so yeah. So I guess I finally went to my room, I think, and I ended up looking at it, and it was 2 lines, so it was positive. So immediately, like, I just started crying because, like I said, me being young and me never thinking that this would happen to me or nothing, or like I would let this happen, then like it was just a lot to like process, and I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I had looked at it, and then I told my boyfriend, I'm like, dude, it's positive. And he was like, bro, I knew it. And, you know, he wasn't necessarily like, oh my God, like mad type deal. He was just like, oh, like, what we gonna do? And he, you know, my boyfriend, he's really supportive and stuff. And like, basically he just like kind of put it on me like, it's, I support whatever you do. And I really like appreciated that, because most dudes nowadays, they be like, we too young, I ain't taking care of no baby, and all this, when it's the two people that created it at first. We was never having sex, never would happen. So it was that type deal, but like he's so different from everybody. So he was really supportive, and like he just was like, if you need help thinking about it, then definitely come to me. And I was like, of course. So I appreciated him like being supportive like that and all this and all that. So then, like, I think at the time, you know, we knew I was pregnant. Then we let a couple or maybe like 3 weeks go by, and we was just kind of like, during those 3 weeks or whatever, we was just kind of thinking like, okay, you keeping it or not? You keeping it or not? That was the first question that we kept going back and forth between. And like some days it would be like, oh my God, I'm not fucking keeping this baby. To like other days it would be like, it's not the right time, but it might not be so bad. Like, my thought process was really like mixed emotions. Like, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. Then I think that it was just one certain day, like, I was at my boyfriend's house, and it was just kind of like, we was talking about it, and it ended up getting like really emotional. And I really think, actually, one day me and him had gotten into like a little not altercation, but like an argument, and I hadn't been at his house yet, and we got into a little argument. I don't know what about, but we got into an argument or something, and then I guess I ended up going to his house or whatever. And I remember like just walking in, and his stepmom was like, "Do you know what's up with him? Like, he's been kind of aggy all day," type deal. Like, she didn't say aggy, but he was kind of like mad or like sensitive like all day type deal. And I just know that we had gotten to like a kind of really bad argument or whatever. I don't know what about, but we got into like a really bad argument that day. And I was just playing it off. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I can go talk to him and see type deal. Cause I like went over his house like every day, so me coming over was like regular. But so I was just like, I can go talk to him. And when I walked in, he was like broke down. And when I mean broke down, I mean like crying and stuff and all this and all that. And I was like looking at him like, dang, did I upset him with our argument and maybe stuff that I said? Like, that was my thought. Like, it was an argument that day that like put him in that type of thing, like type of mindset of him like to be crying. Cause I ain't never seen him like break down or anything like that or be vulnerable towards me like that ever. So it kind of like surprised me to see him how he was. So I ended up walking in, and I was like talking. I immediately just forgot about the like argument thing. Kind of just like hugged him and held him. Was trying to get out of him like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he was just like, I want to keep the baby, and all this and all that. And I just knew that day I was like, keeping this baby, because it's really like there's not only like one reason or one thought process why we decided to keep the baby. It's a whole nother personal reason that I'm not comfortable with sharing right now, but eventually when y'all get to know me more, y'all get that side of the story as well. But till then, we're just gonna say another personal reason on why I wanted to keep the baby. He was just, like, yeah, I just want to keep the baby, and I want to do this with you, and it might not be the right time, but we're gonna make it work and all this and all that. So we both knew that was the day that we was like, yep, we're gonna keep the baby. So that day was like the final decision. So then we went on and on, like, I guess like a couple weeks passed, and through that time we were like at the thought process of, okay, we're gonna keep the baby, so now who do we tell first? And when I think about who, I was thinking about like parent-wise, of course, or even my siblings, because my siblings. And he's the only child like that lives here right now. He has a sister, but she's younger than him, so she would get told last, like, anyways. But my siblings are older than me, well, a couple of them, my sisters. So I was just thinking about tell my sisters first, or tell my parents first, tell his parents. And actually the first person we told was his stepmom, because that day that we made that like final decision of like whether we're gonna keep the baby or not, that day when all that crying and stuff happened, like she was there, and I ended up like telling her like, okay, like, yeah, I'm pregnant and all this, and we want to keep the baby. So she knew. She was the very first one to know, like, out of anybody. And then yeah, so she was the first one to know. And then we kind of went on to like think, like I said, tell my sisters first or tell my parents. And my thought process is like, I know my parents, so I was just kind of like really scared. And I feel like anybody, unless you know your parents aren't gonna like react like crazy or whatever, that you would like be scared to tell them. So like I was really scared to tell my parents. Of course, I was 16 and pregnant. Like, like that's kind of a weight on a parent's shoulders. They're not trying to be no grandparent right now. Like, no. So anyways, I think the first person that in my family that I told was my stepmother. It's kind of weird, like you would think like, oh, you think you would tell your mom first or whatever. That wasn't my thought process, only because I felt like my mom was gonna go like off on me. Like I thought she was gonna flip out, all this, and like I was genuinely, how the, genuinely, I don't know if that's how you say it. Genuinely scared to tell. Forget it. I was scared to tell her that I was pregnant. I was scared to tell my dad, definitely my dad, just because I thought that they was gonna like, boom, like blip off, like a bomb was gonna switch off. Like honestly, I was scared. So, I ended up telling my stepmom first. We had a long conversation, well, kind of long, like brief conversation. Cause I texted it to her that I was pregnant or whatever. And then, you know, of course, she was asking, well, did you say you're gonna keep it or not? And I think at first I told her I don't know, but then eventually I told her like, yeah, I'm gonna keep it or whatever. And then she was like, well, you gotta tell your parents now. Like that was the first thing she probably said to me, I think. And she was like, you gotta tell your parents now. I'm like, I know, I'm scared though. And then I was kind of just trying to get advice from her, like, what should I do? Who should I tell? Like, she was like, it doesn't matter who you tell first. They're both gonna have to know eventually. And I'm like, you're right. So then I kind of asked her, like, kind of tell my dad for me, but like you know, push it on him, like give him like a look, like, hey, Tamia's pregnant. She's scared to tell you, but talk to her, whatever, or kind of let her know that you know she can come to you, type deal. So eventually it got to my dad. My dad knew. He didn't really like, when he first found out, whatever, I remember I walked in the house one day. I think I was coming from my boyfriend's or coming from work, maybe. And he called me into his room and I was like, like what's about to go down? I literally walked in the room and he was just chilling in his little chair. And he was like, so I know you're pregnant, whatever. And he was like, I have no words right now. Of course, I'm disappointed, but I have no words. And he was like, you need to tell your mom. She should have been the first one to know, type deal. And all this. And then he was like, so I'll get back to you whenever it gets to your mom and stuff. And he never got back to me. Now that I think about it. Like, me and him never had that, like, one-on-one conversation. Like, he never got back to me. So, yeah, he never got back to me. But anyway, so yeah, he knew. And then me and my boyfriend decided to tell my mom together because when I tell you, like, I was scared to tell my mama. And I was, like, more scared to tell my mama because I know that, like, I know all my family thinks, like they think that I have all this potential. You know, I do. Like, I have a lot of potential and stuff. So they think more of me and they expect more out of me. They expect greater things out of me and stuff. So I was really scared to tell my mom because my mom, like, lets me know, like, all the time, like, I know that you can do this and you're great at this and you're do this and this. So it's like, I'm really scared to tell her because I'm like, dang, I know she's gonna flip. Like, I just knew she was gonna flip. But the thing is, before I told her, my dad kind of had already pitched it to her. But he told me that he didn't. Like, it was weird. Like, he told me, like, oh, I haven't said nothing to your mom, so I'll need you to tell her before me and you have our one-on-one. So me thinking, I'm going in thinking that my mom doesn't know anything about it, type deal. Or she might have, like, a little idea, but, you know. So me and my boyfriend, we went to my mom's house together one day. I don't know what day, but we went to my mom's house together one day. And basically just kind of gave her a rundown, like, Mom, I'm pregnant. We decided to keep the baby. Tell me how you feel. Like, I mean, it was just kind of like that. Like, I kept it, like, real brief because I didn't know what to say. And I just remember the first thing she was like, your approach was really, like, weak or something and stuff. And I was just like, oh my God. Like in my head, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, what was I supposed to say? And so, yeah, so me and her, she ended up talking to both of us and, like, asking, of course, what y'all gonna do and stuff like that. And it was like, keep it. And then she started asking us about our living situation, what we're gonna do and all this. And I'm like, of course, we're gonna be looking for apartments and all this and all that. And, like, I was still in school at the time, but then I told her that I was gonna do all my school so I can get it out the way so I can just do work full time. yeah, that's exactly what I did for a little bit. And then yeah, so we basically got all that out the way. Of course, eventually my siblings ended up knowing and stuff, and then we got like everybody out the way. His mom and his people knew, like, they were kind of like the last people to know. But his mom was like the very last person to know out of like our immediate family. His mom was the last person to know. I'm talking about my boyfriend. Yeah, his mom was the last person to know. She was the last person. And so we got everybody out the way that we felt like we needed to tell. So moving forward, school wise, I ended up doing online school, and I ended up graduating early, and so I'm a graduate. I was supposed to graduate in 2020, but graduated in 2019, so I just graduated a year early. I graduated back in September, and it's now March, so yeah, I graduated a little bit ago. But yeah, so I'm done with school, and then, like I said, work, I was just working full-time or whatever. And then for a whole nother story, like working wise, I ended up losing the job that I had at the time because it's like some BS. I ended up losing a job, nothing to do with like me like getting fired because of something like that was my fault or anything. Like that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother issue. But and I ended up losing that job at the time, and I was out of work for like a little bit. Like I was out of work for a good few months, and it was getting closer for me, like getting closer to time for me to have my baby type deal. Like I don't know how many months exactly I was, maybe like 6 months. Like I had like 3 months to have the baby or something like that. I think it was like around 6 months, 5-6 months, and I still had no job. Like I think I was out of work for at least like 2 to 3 months, maybe 4. Like I don't remember, but I know I was out of work for a little bit, and like it was so overwhelming because my boyfriend was the only one working at the time, and like me, even though like I love my boyfriend, like he can buy me stuff and all this, but I'm an independent person. I like working for my own things. Like I like getting my own money and stuff like that. So like me like just sitting around all day and me being pregnant, no, it was not working. I needed to work. I needed to get out the house. I needed to make my own money. I wanted to be able to support myself type deal. So at that time, my boyfriend was the only one working for those few months, and it was just like stressful to me. And he was, of course, he's like, oh, don't stress, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna find a job and all this. And I was like, shoot, like it's gonna be only a couple months before I have the baby, and I'm not gonna be able to work for that long and stuff. You gotta go on leave at a certain point and all this because you can't do certain stuff. So yeah, anyways, I ended up getting a job at Walmart, which is where I'm currently I'm at Walmart. I ended up getting a job there, and like it was like 2 months before I had the baby. Actually, when I got her, I don't know. It was a couple months before I had the baby, and I was only there for a little bit, and then I ended up leaving. I ended up going on leave for my pregnancy at on December 13th, and I came back January 13th. So yeah, I was only on leave for a month. I got 3 months, but I only took a month because I couldn't sit around. So yeah, anyways, my baby boy was born on December 22nd, 2019 at 5:43 a.m. Okay. And then after I got settled and kind of waited a couple weeks, I ended up wanting to go back to work, got straight back to work. Been working since then, since January 13th. Making my money. So kind of just moving to now and how life is now. Life's going good. We're still apartment searching, and all this. I think we're gonna wait till I'm 18 to actually move in, which is in July. But I don't know yet. So we're still apartment searching and stuff. So currently we're staying with my mom in my room because first of all the baby stuff is here, and my boyfriend doesn't live with his parents anymore. He lives here for the time being, just until we found an apartment. It's just kind of what we decided to do with my mom. She was like, why doesn't he come here and stay here, because I just had the baby. I know he's gonna want to be around the baby. And I was like, I'm feeling that. Like, yeah, cool, I'm up with that. So yeah, we're living here for right now. We pay my mom rent. You know, like, we ain't coming out here free or nothing. But yeah, so life is, like, I'm not gonna say like it's on the road, but life is going decent right now. And I'm like, I'm content with my situation, and like, I'm good. I'm happy I got my baby boy, okay, and he's doing good. Y'all meet him eventually down the line and stuff. He's 2 months now. He'll be 3 months, of course, on the 22nd of this month. And yeah, so just a little message to all the young moms out there. Good job. You're doing great. Keep going at it, and you'll make it, okay? Provide for your baby the best way you can. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Don't stress about things, the little things especially. And I just hope that you have a good support system, because in the words of all of my family members, it takes a village to raise a baby, and that's probably the realest message I've ever got in my life. It does take a village to raise a baby. You need all the help you can get. My mama got 6 kids, and it's 4 with my dad. Like, I mean, my parents did the thing, okay? And I mean, all of us are good, so that's pretty much it. Like, that's my life. My baby boy's doing good. My boyfriend's doing good. I'm doing good. That's it. My hair grew during the pregnancy. Okay. Oh. Okay. Don't
really, nigga.
Okay. Nah, but that's it. That's pretty much it. Like, that's it. So, before I end this video, I need y'all to like. I need y'all to comment. I need y'all to subscribe. I need y'all to share. Share. Okay? Post me everywhere. Like, let's get it popping. Again, welcome to my channel. Thank you for letting me share my story with you all. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and when I get, like, you know, more into this, like, I'm gonna get a schedule of days that I'll have videos. You know how, like, people do, like, every Monday. Like, I'm gonna do it like 2-3 days out of the week type deal. But once I get that, I'll let y'all know. Y'all be updated with that. But until next time, I'll see y'all later. Okay? Okay.